This is part two of the deck on TBEx lab strategy. So here we use as a springboard for the discussion the partnership between one university and a for-profit company, in this case Oxford University and AstraZeneca, and they teamed up to accelerate the production of the COVID vaccine, drawing from capacities of both the university and the company. And in this presentation, we hope we try to describe how we might similarly synergize between the university and other partners. From the intellectual property management perspective, here we have a flow chart of from the MIT, where we see that university research flows into assessment and then protection, and then marketing to find a licensee or form a startup, and then license and then commercialize until it generates revenue, possibly through licensing fees or direct revenues for the startup, and then reinvest in research and education. We'll get back to this later. So how might we unlock resources in the university? TBEx Lab proposes that we adopt the strategy of MIT called Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, or Europe, where we tap undergraduate students to do high-level research, unpaid research through the labs by matching them with real frontier problems. This is a 2009 article, and by 2009, MIT had been doing the Europe for 40 years already, so they must have started in 1970. And 85% of graduating seniors have participated in the undergraduate research opportunity program. So we propose that our partner universities do this, where they get their undergraduates to work on real-world problems, taking them to the frontiers of what is known. Here's a screen grab, and this is accessible online through this link. Here's a course at MIT, so that has a lab, right? So they teach concepts, but they teach it also by getting the students to actually solve problems. And you'll see in this course website that here this is a course on assistive technologies, developing technologies for the persons with disabilities, the blind, hearing disabled, hearing impaired. So here they have projects, and they have recording videos of the presentation of students on technologies they develop for those who are hearing impaired, for the blind, for those who are wheelchair bound. So how might we interface with the universities given their structures, where they are siloed disciplines in different departments? There are different research centers, and then there are student orgs. We propose that TBEx Lab interface with these across departments, centers, and student organizations through an undergraduate research opportunity project. So this can be launched as an extracurricular thing, similar to the startup activities at the incubator. And then over time, ideally, it becomes more formalized, with faculty based in departments actively participating in mentoring and collaborating across the lab, across the departments and centers under the framework of the lab. So that there will be multiple disciplines involved and collaborating deeply. Now we propose, the TBEx plans to create a lab architecture so that this framework, this platform, will extend beyond the university to other universities, NGOs who are working on the same problem on the ground, the community partners who will help with the design, government, USAID, and industry. So TBEx Lab we'll be recombining and co-creating intellectual capital for impact times scale. So we want to take the benefits, the technologies to scale. And that's why the lab becomes a platform for this cross-cutting conversations and collaboration. Here we plan to, over time, when TBEx Labs becomes more recognized as an innovation platform, then we will be more attractive as partners to DOH, DOST, USAID, and others. Yeah, no. So we want this to be a collaboration platform, similar to the AstraZeneca. So we can develop deep. We have teams that go really deep into developing technologies and solutions. So here I try to summarize how the platform helps, by comparing the current solutions with two parameters: problem, solution, fit, and scale, along the DOH TB problem set. So USAID TB projects have a high problem solution fit, but they are limited to their project sites. So it's not their job to take it to the rest of the country. DLSU and DLHSI research, without the lab, might be thought of as having a poor problem solution fit, at least to the TB problem set. Now, we might have pockets such as the DLHSI TB Research Center, but all the other centers do not actively try to have a high problem solution fit with the DOH TB problem set. And then the scale is limited. Now, if we put together a TBEx lab, especially straddling across DLSU and DLHSI, then maybe our problem solution fit will increase, because now we have the lab as a platform for increasing the problem solution fit. But the scale will still be limited. Now if we interface further with USAID, then I think over time, over multiple cycles, over multiple semesters, our problem to solution fit will be increased so that such that we will be highly aligned with USAID, which is highly aligned with DOH. Ideally, by this time, if we already have the lab, we can be meeting at regular intervals with DOH to ensure that there's a good fit. But doing projects and prototypes is not yet achieving scalable impact. And that's where the incubation comes in, where there will be a high problem solution fit. And then with startups or partnerships with existing businesses, then we can potentially scale up. Now, how might the TBEx lab create value with the university? One, at the research level, we will be defragmenting. We'll create a cross-cutting platform across departments, campuses, sectors, and the university students, especially the Europes, will have a really good platform for research that has a high problem solution fit. So they do their research, and then the idea is to actively engage with the incubator and the technology licensing office so that the pathway towards scale, either through a startup or licensing out to the business, is faster. In fact, the idea is we plan to include existing businesses in the lab, so that they can co-create solutions with Europes. And then there's a need to create markets. Even if we came up with functional solutions, and USAID often does that, it's hard to find the takers. How do we sell it to provincial governments or to hospitals, private hospitals, such that they subscribe to the service or they buy the product? So there's a need for a market for this, to develop the market for this. And then at the tail end, revenue sharing so that we can plow back money into the lab and the university. Now, the labs will also be a platform for scaling up. So here, taking a step back, here's a screen grab of a team collaborating with Lehigh University and UP Diliman. So they have a stream of students. It's been a multi-year project to them, and then different university faculty from different disciplines at Diliman and Lehigh have been working on this plastic upcycling project. So TBEx actually has an upcoming student team, and Europe, for functionally they're like Europe's, to work on the tuberculosis information system. So we're hoping that they will have counterparts in the Philippines, undergraduates who will be doing this and be incentivized to do this, either by getting credit or some other form. Now, we want also to do something similar to that. Now, we want to do that between the Philippines and US, but also across multiple universities in the Philippines. So there might be LaSalle along Taft, and then LaSalle in Cavite, and then partners in Visayas and Mindanao, so that having multiple labs is already a way of replicating the projects, because the projects will become multi-site projects. And then we can also draw conclusions and generalizations by jointly analyzing the results from different sites. So possible next steps, number one, discuss the Europe program, the TBEx Europe program with interested universities, centers, departments, labs, and student organizations. Number two, organize the TBEx Startup Challenge. So it can start as an extracurricular program, startup program, with reverse pitching drawn from the DOH TB problem set. And we can do this with incubators. And then number three, explore partnerships with DOH, NCR, 4A, and DOST. Because these are the two agencies that are interested in this kind of deep collaboration and alignment with their problem sets. That's all. Thank you.